Good morning, and thank you for joining today's information session on ICANN's Career and College Readiness Curriculum Program for K-12. My name is Britannia Mori, and I will be leading today's session. If you have any questions while we are talking this morning, please feel free to use the chat and drop those in there, and I will answer those as we go through. So let's go ahead and get started. So ICANN is an education nonprofit headquartered here in the state of Iowa. If you're not familiar with us, our mission is to empower students to find success in career, college, and life. And we do that through a variety of programs and services. We offer free advising to students and their families in the areas of four-year planning, career planning, college planning, financial aid, and we offer assistance in completing the FAFSA form. We also offer programming to schools and organizations. We do school-based seminars to parents and students. We help with FAFSA completion and the curriculum program that you're here to learn about today. We also, on the professional side, we offer consulting in the areas of DCAP development, as well as professional development for school counselors, educators, college access professionals, and higher education individuals in admissions and financial aid in all aspects of career and college readiness. So today we're here to talk about the curriculum program. And I'm going to start off just kind of talking about why career and college readiness. We know that it's important, but why are we focusing on a K-12 solution? So students are facing a complex and rapidly changing world. And we know, and studies tell us, that early consistent exposure builds confidence and informed decision-making in our students. The earlier that we can start having these conversations and providing exposure to students on the ideas of different careers and planning processes, the more confident they will be when it comes time to make those decisions. And with that in mind, career and college readiness is no longer just a high school conversation. It starts early. It should start as early as kindergarten, and we should be supplying our families and our students with as much information as possible to help them build that foundation so they're ready to make those decisions when it comes time. So that means a comprehensive K-12 approach. This is a developmentally appropriate activities at every stage. So in kindergarten, we're learning through fun and play. In middle school, we're doing more personalized and engaging exposure. And in high school, we are making decisions. So we're going to build these skills progressively from self-awareness to career exploration to post-secondary planning. And this comprehensive approach ensures equity and access for all students. So I'm going to go through our curriculum by level. In elementary, we are focused on play-based learning that introduces careers and self-knowledge of interests. We're really just having fun with kids and introducing them to fun concepts about different community roles, what they're interested in and how that can connect to different things, and then beginning the discussion around lifelong learning and education and training for different careers. But we're doing this in a really fun, playful format. In middle school, we're transitioning from that playful exploration into attentional awareness. And by high school, we're looking at post-secondary exploration, career planning, and those transition skills so that no matter what pathway they select, they are prepared and ready to go. The ICANN curriculum provides age-appropriate, grade-specific lessons. In elementary and middle school, our lessons are designed to engage students who are not ready to make decisions, but they need exposure to these concepts to, again, build that foundation. In high school, our lessons are designed to guide students through each step of the planning process for life after high school to explore all of the different pathways that are available to them and make informed decisions. All of our lessons build upon each other and lay that foundation for critical decisions that every student is going to face come graduation. Our curriculum it provides engaging hands-on activities and personalized learning. Students can connect with these lessons on a personal level after being introduced to the general concepts. And we have built this curriculum upon national standards and the ASCA model mindsets and behaviors. For those national standards, what we're looking at across the nation, every state has a variety of expectations, even rules within their code, but the general consensus nationwide is that to declare a student career and college ready upon high school graduation, they need to have achieved these four concepts. They need to have achieved proficiency in the essential content knowledge, and that content knowledge is career planning, college planning, financial aid, and all of that knowledge needed to successfully make some decisions about their next steps. They need to have acquired practical transition skills. What skills are we building in our students to make them successful? They need to have developed key learning skills and cognitive strategies. So what are the skill sets, again, that we're helping them determine their learning styles, their work values, and what strategies have we enabled in them to make these decisions? And finally, they need to have built a strong foundation of self-understanding and engagement strategies. This means that they have done reflection, they have taken personal assessments, and they've connected their personal interests, and they understand themselves, their goals, their desires, and connected that to career and college planning. As I mentioned, we are aligned with the ASCA model. So we took a look at the ASCA K-12 college career and life readiness standards for every student, and we've aligned our lessons with their mindset and behavior standards to ensure that we are not only meeting national standards for career and college readiness, but that we're also engaging in those school counseling professional standards. So our curriculum topics grow with our students. So here you can see the overarching topic areas. In kindergarten through second grade, there's 4 segments. So we're focusing on a community of helpers, which means we're talking to students about how a community is built, the different roles within a community, and what those roles might entail. We're helping them begin to explore interests and careers, connecting what they like to do with what they could do later in life, but in a fun way. Career exploration. So this is exposing students to a variety of careers regardless of their interests, making sure that they're aware that there are all kinds of different opportunities. And the importance of learning is our introduction to that lifelong learning that I mentioned a few slides ago, where we're just starting to have those conversations about how different careers require different training, and that you'll go on and do something after high school that helps you prepare specifically for things you're interested in. In grades 3 through 5, we start introducing career clusters and the concept that their interests can lead them to areas of careers that help them explore different avenues of interest. We also do a deep dive into each of the 14 career clusters. We follow the national framework put forth by careertech.org website. The national framework there aligns all careers into 14 categories. So we do a deep dive and introduce each of those areas to students so that they have awareness of all of the opportunities. And then through interest assessments, they can start connecting with specific clusters and do some projects and activities around that. We also transition from that importance of learning to exploring life beyond high school. And so this is where we introduce some career and college vocabulary, some pathway opportunities, and start making some of those post-secondary connections. And then we have the beginning of our financial literacy lessons, which start with some basic money management, but tie into career salary and post-secondary costs. Now, at this level, they're playing games. They're doing simple things like creating a budget for a class field trip, things like that, but we're laying that foundation. In middle school, grades 6th, 7th, and 8th, we are again continue to look at those career clusters, and we start connecting their interests through careers. We continue that beyond high school conversation about post-secondary education and training opportunities and how that connects to different careers. We have that financial literacy component here, and this is again where we're laying those foundations, but this is also in 8th grade. They get their first lesson on the basics of financial aid. So we're starting that financial aid and FAFSA advisement. And then we introduce academic preparation. And these are a few lessons each grade level through middle school that starts preparing students for the transition to high school. So talking about getting involved, community service, 4-year plans, and the big picture of what high school is all about. As we get into high school, we are looking at academic preparation, career exploration, financial literacy, and then post-secondary selection. And I'm going to get into each of these components as we go over the core concepts of each level. So in elementary, we have 3 core concepts that each of the lessons reflect. We are empowering early exploration in these lessons. We want to introduce a wide range of careers. We want to foster self-awareness and curiosity about the future in our youngest learners. We want to build essential skills. We want to develop critical, age-appropriate skills such as self-reflection, collaboration, and instill that growth mindset so that students will make informed decisions. And then finally, we want to connect learning to success and help students see that education influences their future opportunities, and again, encourage that mindset for lifelong learning. In middle school, again, we have 3 core concepts. We're encouraging informed exploration. So as we transition out of that playful exposure into more informed exploration for students, we want them to learn about a variety of careers. We want them to examine their personal interests and explore pathways that match their strengths with future opportunities. We also want them to develop those core skills that regardless of what pathway they choose, they're going to have skill sets that help them reach success. So we're going to foster those critical middle school skills: decision-making, problem solving, and goal setting. And we're helping them build confidence in the planning and thinking about high school and beyond. And we want them to go into high school with that confidence that they understand some of the things that they're going to do, the 4-year planning, why they should get involved, things like that. And finally, we're going to continue that conversation about connecting education to their career goals so that students can understand the academic steps they need to achieve their goals, and then emphasize again that importance of ongoing education and career planning. As they move into high school, we are supporting purposeful planning. We want students to refine their career interests, set post-secondary goals, and develop actionable plans that build that strong foundation. We want to strengthen and advance those skill sets. We want to focus on the competencies of critical thinking, time management, and career readiness skills. And we want to ensure that smooth transition to college, training, or the workforce, whatever pathway they have chosen. And we want to connect that learning to their future success. We want to emphasize the real-world application of their academic achievements, about their personal goals and those career pathways, and then again, reinforce that value of lifelong learning and the need to be have the ability to adapt. So all of this really focuses in on those district career and academic plans, and then the individual academic and career planning that high school students have. Now, this is just an example of here in Iowa. Iowa code requires ICAP for grades 8 through 12. That has been established since 2016. Since then, additional bills have been passed that require career education for grades 7 through 8. And just this past legislative session, House File 316 expanded this to include grades 5 through 7. So all the way down to 5th grade, it's now required to have career investigation, career connections, and career intention. However, each state across our nation, this is a national curriculum program, each state has a variety of similar code requirements or expectations, and national standards and best practices is a recommendation for a district career and academic plan for K-12. So that's where this comprehensive K-12 curriculum comes in, is that we can help you align and have that comprehensive fluid motion from day 1 of kindergarten through that last day of senior year. Our curriculum aligns with all of the DCAP requirements and essential components. That would include that self-understanding, career information, career exploration, post-secondary exploration, and then career and post-secondary decision-making. So these are just, this is kind of an overview of our 9-12 alignment. So each of our 9-12 lessons fits into one of those 5 components. So you can see that there's a variety of touch points for students at every grade level within these different lessons that fit into those 5 components. We also, many DCAP plans have now extended to include descriptions of how 4-year planning and work-based learning occur within that plan. We have lessons that touch on those topics as well. So the key component of our curriculum that I think is most beneficial to schools is the flexible integration and personalized experience. So we are not a cookie cutter system where you take it as it is and you make it work for you, or you make your setting work for it. Our lessons are formatted to be flexible. So if you're doing classroom push-ins, or you're wanting to look for curriculum for a standalone course, or you're using this in short advisory periods, or maybe you're doing this with small group interventions, our lessons have the flexibility to adapt to those different timeframes and settings. and we help you with that implementation and integration. We also have this personalized experience for students. National standards state that we should be providing an in-depth, individualized approach to career and college exploration for students. Now, it's really hard to do a personalized or individualized approach when you're working with a class of 30 students, but our lessons do that. The introduction of each lesson provides the concepts of all of their options, but then the activities have them dig in and connect with their personal interests. So they're getting the best of both worlds. And then we offer support for our program. All of our program is written in-house by our team of experts, and we have done this in coordination with school counselors, and we've tested it with students. So all of our programs are informed by our knowledge, resources, and materials, and our team is here for full customer support, not only upon implementation, but as you're using the curriculum throughout the year, our support team is always available to you. The curriculum does come with an implementation guide. The implementation guide focuses on the K-12 level, and it covers the purpose and background of the curriculum, why we're touching on career and college readiness, why it's important to have this as a comprehensive program, how it's defined, the key elements of our curriculum, the different lesson formats and design. We provide scope and sequence recommendations. Now, these are just options. You can implement this any way you want, and we can help you adapt that. This comes with templates so that you can do your own scope and sequence based on your needs. But we also have sections in our implementation guide that cover lesson customization. So how you can do it in 20 minutes or 45 minutes or across a single course. We talk about that. We also have the ability to help you integrate our curriculum into a career information system of your choice. So if you're already using something like Zello or School Links or Naviance, things like that, we have worked with schools and with districts to integrate our curriculum into those programs. There's a section that talks about the student portfolio. So there are activities and pieces of information that students are going to create during this that could be created and kept in what we would call a student portfolio that shows their progress. In elementary school, they're going to be journaling and reflecting on the activities. In middle school and high school, there are reflection points, but there are also personalized plans and budgets based on their interest, all things that can be collected in activities, resumes, scholarship essays, that can build a portfolio that shows the progress they've made towards their goal setting and their planning. We also provide supplemental resources and events to further enhance your career and college readiness program. I've already talked about training and support. We have a parent engagement toolkit at each level that will help you engage your stakeholders in this process and create those at-home conversations. We also have a terminology section in this guide that helps you with any vocabulary or references that you may not be familiar with. And then we provide an index of curriculum resources and source materials. As I said, we develop our curriculum in-house through research. And if we're pulling information from, say, the Bureau of Labor Statistics or a research project, all of that, we are going to tell you exactly where that information or resource came from. The training that we provide for implementation, it's a 2-hour virtual training. And in that training, we will provide you with an overview of the curriculum, the purpose, the structure, and the alignment. We will talk about implementation strategies, the core concepts and activities, how to integrate those, what best practices are for student engagement, and we'll review the online portal, which I will give you a preview of here in just a moment. And then I mentioned family and community engagement. We have those parent toolkits. We also provide DCAP alignment and data tools. So we have created a template for DCAP that you can take, copy and paste into your plan that will explain the activities within the lessons and link right to those resources so that that's embedded in your plan. Before I get to licensing, I do want to switch over and just give you that preview of the portals. So when you license our curriculum, you get usernames and passwords for your educators, your counseling team, to access the curriculum portal. So as I mentioned, this is a national program. This is tailored when it gets for high school, it's tailored by state because we get into really specific program of study examples or apprenticeship programs, searching tools, and we want that to be tailored. So you would select the state that you're in. As I mentioned, this is password protected. But once you log in, so this is our 912 portal. And you can see here, you can always access the curriculum team or put in suggestions for our further enhancement. But we have a introduction letter for parents, your implementation guide, scope and sequence templates. Here's that index of resources and source materials, the crosswalk for the ASCA mindsets and behaviors, the link down to the lessons themselves. You can always review the most recent training videos for our curriculum. And then each year we do an annual update of any changes that have been made. So when you renew your curriculum each year, you get a built-in training that covers any changes to the curriculum, updates, new features, things like that. Here's that parent engagement toolkit. I'll give you a preview of that. So we provide you with email templates, social media post templates, newsletter inserts by month, some just general event invitations that you can use. We give you a content layout in case you want to enhance your website or your career and college readiness portal. And then we give you some parent resources to share out with parents, such as conversation starters, FAQs, and then that milestone calendar. So that's our parent engagement toolkit for 912. And then this is where, as an educator, you would come in and access the lesson plans and the resources. So each lesson is going to give you the goals, an overview of that lesson. What are the expectations and the intended outcomes and takeaways for that lesson? Then you also get your lesson plan. And this will give you a breakdown of that traditional 45 to 50-minute lesson, but then it'll also break it down into 15-minute segments. And those segments, so you could do it in a 15 or 20-minute advisory period, or you could choose to say, I want to spend more time on this lesson topic. So I'm actually going to take segment 1, and that's going to be the entire 45-minute period. And then the next class period, I'm going to do segment 2, and that's going to be the 45-minute period. So those segments are natural breaking points in the lesson content to give you that flexibility without feeling like you're stopping in the middle of a conversation. This is also where you'll download the PowerPoint and or where you'll access the PowerPoint for each lesson. If there are handouts or worksheets for a student, they'll be here. Then there's always a built-in reflection component where students will be asked to reflect on the activity that they've done and complete this. And then if you choose, there is an assessment, and then we provide you that answer key. You can do a pre and post test with your students to show knowledge gained throughout the lesson. Now, the reason I went down to career assessment is this is a great example of a lesson that provides that flexibility built in. So best practice is for you to do a career assessment or an interest inventory with students every single year of high school. But best practice also says it should not be the same assessment. So our career assessment lesson provides you with the opportunity to use 7 different assessments. So every year you have access built in to pick a different assessment and work with students. And we have designed these worksheets that will go through that with your students. So whatever assessment you choose, there is a worksheet that goes along with it that will help them understand the results of those assessments and pull out specific information that will help them with their planning. So that is our 912. I'm going to go back and show you the middle level portal. So in middle school, you get the implementation guide, the lessons by grade, the training video, and that engagement toolkit. And here you get to see how it's broken down by grade. The difference between our 912 and our K-8, 912, almost all of the lessons can be used at any grade level. And so we specify within the goal sheet what grade it's for. K through 8, we have specific lessons for each grade. And so that is organized here in your portal. So you can see, and it tells you which topic area you're covering. So 6th grade has this academic preparation, and then career exploration, your financial literacy, and then 3 lessons around that beyond high school. Same with 7th grade. Here you're digging into those learning styles, getting involved. The financial literacy one here is they're going to do a budget for their very first department. In 8th grade, this is where they're going to start talking about 4-year plans, thinking about that transition to high school. they're going to build a real life budget, but then they get that very first financial aid lesson. So, and then it's the same setup as the 912 portal where you get the goals, the lesson plans, the PowerPoint, any of the handouts that go with the lesson, and then those assessments. I want to take this moment to point out all of our handouts, you can download that PDF and it's a fillable PDF. So if you want to assign these electronically through your learning management system, if you're using something like Schoology or Canvas or anything like that, you can assign these electronically to students. They fill out the PDFs online, save them, and send them right back. Or you can choose to print them and have handwritten copies. But you have either one of those options when it comes to all of those handouts. And then we have the elementary portal. So this is set up in the same way that our middle school, so by grade level. And each grade K-5 has 4 lesson topics or activities. Now, that doesn't mean you only meet with them 4 times. You have the choice to, each lesson topic has 3 activity segments. So you could do 1 segment one day, 1 segment the next day, or you can do it all at once. So that's that built-in flexibility here. And it's set up the exact same way as the rest. So you have these lesson goals, the plans, the PowerPoint, and then the printable activities or worksheets. The K-5 curriculum also comes with a printed kit that we mail out to you upon license. And so you get full color laminated posters and game cards and things that you would use within these activities. And so within the portal, we tell you from the kit what you would need to pull out for this lesson. So in this Discovering Interest Through Play lesson, you need the interest posters from your kit that you receive in the mail. So you would pull that out. Like in this one, you would need the job posters. We introduce 8 different careers in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade. Each year they learn about 8 new jobs, and there's a poster to go along with each one of those. So that is a preview of the portals. So we'll switch back over here to the PowerPoint and we will talk about licensing options. So there's a variety of ways you can license our program. While that K-12 comprehensive approach is that best practice, we understand that different districts are at different places. So you can license just elementary, just middle school, or just high school. Or you can do a district K-12 license. You can also just do elementary, middle, or middle and high school. We will tailor a licensing option to your district needs. We also have some what we call Curriculum Plus options, which are some add-on features. So the elementary standard license, this is a district license for 5 years. So it's $7,500. There are add-on fees if you need additional kits for each elementary school. The license comes with 1 kit. So there's an add-on if you have multiple elementaries. It's a classroom-based program specifically crafted for our elementary students. You get the access to the online portal, all of the lesson plans, the slide decks, the worksheets, and the activities, the printed support kit, the implementation guide, and comprehensive training. Now, you can choose to do that 5-year license. You can do a lump payment up front, or we can spread it across the 5-year license. So you do have that option. The reason it's a 5-year license is because of that printed kit. It's a standard set, and we don't, you're already going to have that. So annual renewals and things like that, we went with a 5-year license. So the middle school and high school options, it's $2,000 a year for the first year, and then it renews at $1,000 per year after that. And that's for middle school and then also for high school. We do offer these as a per building license. So we do not charge per student. You say, this is how many buildings I want to license, and we give a license to each building. You do get discounts at the multi-building, or if you do that comprehensive license and you're picking multiple levels, there is a discount available there as well. So again, these are classroom-based. It's tailored for middle school and high school students. You're getting that online portal, that implementation guide, and the comprehensive training. So that district standard license for a K-12, K-12 would also be the 5-year license because it does encompass that elementary. You get 10% right off the top if you're doing a K-12 license. We can do additional discounts depending on how many buildings we might be adding. It can be paid over the life of the license or in one lump sum and includes 1 printed K-5 kit. This is your comprehensive approach. The benefits to that are the smooth transitions between each level. There's common language, and it provides that solid foundation of those career and college readiness concepts, and they're developed long before students reach the high school level. So some of those add-on options that we call Curriculum Plus. The plus options are designed to promote a school or district-wide college and career readiness culture, and it creates that tailored plan for your district to help you further meet those needs for your students and staff as outlined in your plan. So the first option, so for your K-8, we offer virtual seminars for parents. You can provide virtual seminars to your parents that provide that at-home engagement. You can connect parents in that planning process. We have done these presentations for PTO meetings, parent information nights, or sometimes it's just a standalone, this is the topic we're talking about. We can break these down by level or by grade groups. So that's again tailored to how you want to reach out to your parents. But it gives parents the opportunity to ask questions and learn about their role in the early years of this process. Again, we have those additional support kits for classroom implementation for K-5. And then, so in grades 3 through 5, there's a journal for each student. That's a black and white journal. It's available in the online portal for you to print. But some schools prefer that we just pre-print those student journals and include those ahead of time. So you just tell us like how many students, and we can pre-print those for you. There's also a coloring book activity in kindergarten. It's letters of the alphabet, and each letter is a different career. If you want a full coloring book pre-printed for each of your kindergartners, we can order that as well. Some prefer to print one coloring book and then give each student a letter. So, there's flexibility that is also available in the online portal for you to print yourself. At the high school level, we do offer those school-based or virtual seminars for parents and students. The topics here, freshman transition. So these are great for incoming freshmen or second semester 8th graders and their parents. We do a guide to career and college planning, and we do a how to pay for college session on understanding the financial aid process. So you can see what grade levels those are attuned to. Some schools may already do these with us without having a curriculum license. If you wrap those into your curriculum license, you will get a discount on those programs. We also offer FAFSA completion assistance events, both virtual and in person. Of course, in person, typically you have to be in Iowa or very close in an adjoining state. Otherwise, those virtual events are very successful. We also offer the ability to have ICAN advising time. This has been a request from multiple schools, so we've now kind of roped it into a option that you can add on to your license. So this gives you the ability for an ICAN advisor to work with your students. Generally, they will Zoom in, and they can be available for classroom or small group meetings. This allows you to tailor some Tier 2 career and college readiness interventions for your students. We also do career information system integration. If that's something you're interested in, that is a tailored quote dependent upon what system you're using and what that integration looks like. So we're happy to have a conversation and talk to you about that. We can offer your team professional development as well. We do have a slate of webinars that are available at any time, but if you want to factor those into your licensing agreement, there would be discounts on your team participating in those. We can also do tailored PD just for your team, either virtual or, depending on your location, in person. And then we also provide that DCAP and ICAP consulting. So we can work with your DCAP team to evaluate your current plan, provide a survey to determine the different elements that you want to develop. We can work with you through different sessions to outline your goals, develop your metrics, establish and deepen your plan, and then outline how you can implement that plan and provide district-wide staff training so everyone is on board. So I always get questions about funding for curriculum. So there is the traditional curriculum funding that you would use for any other type of curriculum. If you are a district that has access to Perkins 5 or RPP funds, this is an allowable expense for those funds, so you could consider using that. There is a lot of professional development for your team engaged with this curriculum, so we can bill this as a professional development for your staff, and then it comes with supplemental resources and materials that you would then implement based on that training. And then we have districts that have used their district foundation or gotten a community grant to cover things. I'm going to drop in the chat the link where you can download the elementary, middle school, and high school lesson goals and summaries. That is the part of the curriculum that you can have access to before you license. And that is the conclusion of the general overview of these programs. I'm happy to go through and show you actual samples of lessons if you have specific things that you would like to ask for. But given that it's a K-12 program, I hate to pick and choose for you what you might want to see. But I'm happy to provide some of those sample lessons if you guys want to stay on. Otherwise, I'm going to put some links here in the chat. So this first link is where you can go to our website and download the overviews and the goals and summaries of the levels that you're interested in. If you want to begin having conversations about your specific district goals and how we might be able to help you meet those goals, or you're ready to license or want to talk more about licensing options, you can use that second link that I just dropped in, or the one that's you see it on the screen there. That is my personal calendar link, and that will give you access to see when I'm available, and you can schedule a time for us to talk about your specific district interests and needs. And then I can also show you samples and walk you through curriculum there as well. You see the contact names there of our curriculum team, myself and my colleague Carrie. If you email curriculumteam@icansucceed.org, you'll reach both of us, and one of us will get back to you right away. But your initial conversation would take place with me, so you can use that calendar link. So does anyone have any questions? Would you like to see some samples across from different levels of curriculum lessons? I'm happy to do that, but I also know that your time is very valuable, so I want to give you that option. And go ahead and use the chat if you have questions or. Right. Well, I want to thank you guys for joining me this morning. And if you're watching the recording, again, you can reach out and learn more by visiting icansucceed.org/curriculum. And in addition to the information on those pages, there is a button right there that helps you schedule a consulting time with me to talk about your district plans and needs. Thank you very much and have a great rest of your day.